Elon Musk is Warren Buffett. He said, I will ask them a question. What are your goals? In a year, I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
But before a year, what you don't have any other goal between? What can you accomplish?
Our youth needs to understand that it's still important to have dreams.
Dreams without goal are nightmare.
You can have a dream, but you need goals to bridge the gap.
If there's no journalists in the world for a week, do you think the world will continue living just fine? People are now as serious about education or the future of the nation as they should be.
Most of preaching is like money is evil. The Bible say the love of money is
Right.
the root of all.
All evil.
What do you need the money for? You're working hard. Why? Focus your life. All becomes about getting the money. That's wrong. Education is more like indoctrinations. Fill the brain with unnecessary stuff. Today, they prepare you to remain a child. After 25 years, seeing people still paying
paying it
for
off.
the student loan.
Yeah.
But you find a person who went to school to become a plumber. 3 months, they're making more money than they are. The foundation is the home. The parents, they have to do the job. Parents have led the job to the instructors. That's the family is broken. Education is broken. The future is broken. 17, 16 years old. How good, how well educated they were. But today, even people coming out of colleges with nothing in their brains. I have to go to school in college or in whatever university, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars and come out of it knowing nothing. That is a waste of money, time. It's you and I, taxes, money,
Yep.
paying for someone to not learn anything.
Our education system don't bring them anything at all.
You're going to school to get a paper to start actually learning.
There's a lot of opportunities out there.
Talking about goals, most people go to university without even knowing why they are going to university.
A lot of this current generation, I guess you can say, is prone to having a short attention span.
They were able to write. You look at those letters, you are amazed.
I say going to university is a problem if
All right, so we just get back to the next episode with the Fortunate Mindset podcast. Today, after a crazy time that we've had a couple of months ago, we really appreciate all the support that you have supporting us on different social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok. We'd appreciate that. But today we came with a topic that everybody on earth wanna talk about. And there's nobody that can get to a certain point without talking about that topic or without going through the subject that we're gonna talk about today. And that topic is education. But let me tell you this, I'm not here by myself, as always. I'm with my brother, Taylor Kenda.
what's going on, man? Right back at it again.
Man.
We're loving this.
Yeah,
Welcome
sure.
everybody.
About this topic that we're about to talk right now, it's not just you and I, right? We have brought in somebody that means a lot to me personally. Is a friend, a brother, a business partner. And by the way, talking about business partner is gonna be also one of the co-hosts
Yep.
of this platform.
Yep.
Whenever
That's right.
I'm not here, Taylor's not here, so it will be the one also having to be together with one of us, of course, right?
So what you're looking at is pretty much a trio here. So
I mean, I can't
It's pretty
wait for
exciting.
this. So
Yeah.
the team is getting bigger, and it's a really exciting experience that I feel like it's great. People are loving the content we're creating, and that person, I wanted to really take a lot of time introducing him, but I was like, no, the best person to talk about themselves, it's himself.
That's right.
So we have Mordecai.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good night, wherever you are. I'm Mordecai. Call me Martouche. It's easier. And I'm very glad to be here and very excited to get to know you all.
Man, you can't imagine how blessed I am to have you in my life as a brother, as a friend, and now
Appreciate
as a
that.
business partner. I mean, it means a lot to me because I know we know each other like from like way long ago.
Way back.
Way back in the country, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I remember those times.
Yeah.
And then let me share a story a little bit. I remember when I came here in the United States, I met Madoshe. When he saw me, he was like, "Oh, you here?" He was so astonished, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm here, man." He was like, "Man, I'm so glad to see you." We had like a really great conversation, but I know you had so much time with Taylor more than I. So Taylor, what's your experience with Mordecai?
I really like picking his brain. He's a tremendous personality, great character, always giving. Yeah, he's a fantastic human being. I really love my man Mordecai.
Appreciate
it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Appreciate you both as well. Great friends, people that can rely on.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And talking about the brain and somebody who can bring insights and
Right.
all of this stuff. So we say we're going to talk about education. And when we talk about education, when like right now everybody is watching, I want to ask you this. If you have an answer, you can just put it in the comment section below. We will have time to answer to that. When you hear about the word education, what comes into your mind? What do you think about education? So, I want to ask Mordecai, the word education, what comes into your mind?
Well, when you hear the word education, it is the art of teaching somebody something, of learning, and that subject, that just education has changed along with time. It has changed a lot. I remember back in the country, we used to have a blackboard and the crayons. It was a white chalk to
yeah.
write on the board. You come in America, after years, it changes to white. Now kids don't even need to look at the board because they have tablets, computer, and even further back in the ages, it was totally different. So it changes according to where you are and time as well. So.
Talking about change, I want to mention about something that I know most people will maybe like hates me for this or don't like me for this. But what if I say like education haven't changed at all? Because let me explain myself.
Okay.
You say like we started like with blackboard, chalk and stuff, but the system, it's still the same.
Yes, you're right. You're correct. Well, if you let's talk about it in this way. Back in the days, you had a parent, for example, who has some kind of business. It would teach the kids to sometimes follow the same path. Teach the kid. Some parents will hire a tutor. The kid doesn't have to go to a public school or anywhere. You're going to hire a tutor to learn under the tutor until the children is mature enough or skillful enough to start doing the job of the father. We see most of it with kings. I want my kid, my child to be the king right after me. It will not just let the kid, okay, go think or do whatever you want to do. He will hire a specific person, a person that he trusts, maybe a general, maybe somebody, to take care of the kids, to teach them in the way of kings, not in a way like any other people. A king, you are a king since they are a child. And if that kid has the same mentality of a child, he will not become a king. That's education, right? You teach the kid according to the way they have to follow. So they remain on the same path. So looking at today, instead of education, it's more like indoctrinations. They don't teach kids what is necessary for life. They just fill their brain with unnecessary stuff today. So that's why I say it changes. It has changed. But mostly they're just telling you stuff. That person back in the days to prepare a kid to be a king. Today, they prepare you to remain a child. You go to school, a child, you come out of a child. I was listening to a gentleman who was a World War II veteran. He said when the war started, he was about 17. He went to the military. By 18, 19, he had done 2 years fighting the war, killing people. He comes back to the United States to tell him you cannot buy alcohol. I was just like, wait a minute. I am able to go to war, fight the war as a man. When I come back in my country, they treat me like a kid, like a child, because they want you to be a child. People go to school, they come out like just with a piece of paper. They are as dumb as they went in. So that's not education. What do the kids learn these days? Not much. That's why I say it changed. You look at the kids back in the 60s, 17, 16 years old. The way they were able to write. You look at those letters, you are amazed how good, how well educated they were. But today, even people coming out of colleges with nothing in their brains.
The thing is, the system of education has evolved and it's changed over the years, and we're going all the way back into the early even 1800s or so. So if you look at what the education system is today, you may see, for example, a system where kids are starting off. They know that in elementary school we're learning such and such subjects, and then after this we have middle school, and then after this high school. So it's structured in a systematic way where you want to achieve this, check, next, check. But you can also have education where kids in middle school are well advanced than some students in high school and taking courses that are versed in many ways that are preparing them for college and preparing them for even life after college. So it's not a systematic way where you're only stuck or limited to the basics of what you need to learn here, and then you don't expand on that. So it's pretty much not limiting yourself, rather than or opening up ways of opportunities for you to learn in any way that you can, outside of just the system that's been set for you already. So I'm not sure if that makes sense.
I mean, it really makes sense. I really get that, but there is something that I want to pinpoint, right? It is about the way people are now going to school, right? Mm-hmm. People in high school, college, university, and other stuff. Like Mordecai just mentioned, most people go there. After that, they are not even able to do their job or what they've been taught in school. So my question is, what are they being taught? Because we suppose that we think school is a place that makes people ready for the future. Mm-hmm. People ready that gonna govern, the people that are gonna lead. Like we have those great people that lead the country, the world today. So tell me, I have this kind of thoughts that just come in my brain and be like, all these people, most of them drop out from college.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong from that.
There's a lot of percentage of people who start but do not graduate.
Yeah, but
some people even will graduate will never work in the field. Mm-hmm. They got the certificate or diploma from.
Sure, yeah. Sure. So if they drop out of college and today they are like billionaires, millionaires, they've invented so many technologies. So my question is, what the difference between somebody who drop out from college and being a genius and create a lot of things, innovate a lot of things, than the person that go there and get out from it and the brain is nothing? They're really dumb. What happened to that?
The thing is, just like I just came from mentioning, they were stuck in a system where they knew that after high school, I have to go to college and go get this degree. But someone who has dropped out and is pursuing an entrepreneurship, and they know that after this, I'm going to become a CEO of such and such, they've noticed that they have to break the system barriers that's locking them into just getting a degree, like my parents want me to. And then after this degree, I do this, and I hopefully get into a good job that's going to pay me. There's a small percent of people. Myself, I'm an exception. Mm-hmm. When I finished my education, I'm lucky to be able to go into the field where I'm using maybe, say, 80% of the things that I was learning at the university. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I studied with, they're in fields that they don't even correlate to with what they learned. Exactly. So it's breaking those barriers, essentially.
What do you think about it, Mordecai?
Well, that's as we started saying, education or school to be just has to prepare you to enter society, to be a helping member of society. You can help with this, you can help with that. But if I have to go to school, in college or in whatever university, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars and come out of it knowing nothing, that is a waste of money, time. And the worst thing is, some people don't even have to pay. The states have to pay for them, which means it's you and I, taxes, money, paying for someone to not learn anything, to party
Definitely.
for 4 years, to do, to get drunk, to do drugs for 4 years and come out with a diploma looking for a job. And I really feel bad because education is preparing the future of the country, which means it should be one of the, if not the most serious thing that everybody has to look for. If you want to buy a house, you don't just look for, okay, that house is big and beautiful. No, you look around it. If I have children, they will have to go which school, school around the area where I want to live with my family. All of that education is very, very important. That's what people do. But people are not as serious about education or the future of the nation as they should be. That's what I think.
So as we've been talking even previously before this episode started, you and we were having a conversation. Then I mentioned something about, you see, you talk about money aspect. Even there are people that get loans, right? They go to college, university, they get a loan, and then Taylor told me, like, one of the lecturer that is a doctor today, but he's still paying his student loan until today.
Until today, right?
So tell me, for somebody who just went to college or university or whatever for a purpose to study, but then they go there, they study party, they study being drunk with friends. Even some people who were not drinking before, smoking before, they start doing it because they are with their friends, where they influence them to do such things, right? So do you think schools and university are best place to send kids to go to study, or it's better to make people or your kid homeschooling?
It's a good thing. Homeschooling is best. And you cannot stop the children from discovering something. Now, this one, we go back to what you said on our conversation. It's education has three parts. You have the family, you have the church or community, and school.
Sure.
So if that kid leaving the house was not well trained in the house, it doesn't matter. When he goes out, he's going to do whatever they want. But if the children is well trained from the house, knows what the community or the church stands for, what he can and cannot do, those kids will have a little bit better control over their behavior whenever nobody's around, or whenever they are at school or university or wherever they are. You understand? It is education, the foundation, the base. It's a home. It's not even the community first. It's the house. It's the parents, the mother, talking to the children, teaching them what they need, what they have to do, how they have to behave. It starts from when they are little girl, little boys, teaching them you should not do this, you have to do this. This is the right way, this is the wrong way to do things. So if you don't teach the children since they are kids, you won't have any control over them whenever they go into school or in college. Yeah.
Right. So if I can add to that, let me break it down. So just like you just mentioned, there's essentially three main ways that the system, the government and whatnot, or even private, has set for education for our countries. Homeschool, like you just mentioned, private school, and also public. So there's pros and cons to all of those.
True.
Like we could just mention. So for example, homeschool. It's good because you have a one-on-one connection with your child. All right? And the con to that, the child is limited to just maybe the circle that they're in, and maybe not outside.
Yeah, they might not be very social with other people.
So let's take it to public school then. All right, you go to public school, your kids have access to a lot of different resources that the government has set for them, whether it's sports, whether it's librarians, whatnot. The cons, they may be exposed to things that you're not in control of. Where what's been a curriculum that's already been set by the state, which you have to accept or agree or disagree with. Private school. If you go into a private school, well, the cons of that, for majority of people, funds. You have to have a means to put your child into a institution that's going to help them better themselves, which requires funds. But the pros to that is you get an individualized education for your child. So it's really just depends on what that child needs, what the family situation looks like for every single everybody to be able to choose.
Every household.
Every household, right?
I love that, bro. I really love that. Talking about, you guys have mentioned something about funds, about money, and all of that. So, and as like you just mentioned, education should start from the house, church or community, then school, right? So, I want to get a part where I feel like this can be a bit of hard to go to a church part or community part. Most of Christian churches, when they educate people, because when we see education, after the goal is to, when you finish, you graduate, it's to start a business, to have a job and start making money and having a life like with your family and your future. The church preach us or teach us about living a great life, right? About how you can be a good Christian, a good neighbor, a good husband, wife, and such and so forth, so on and so forth. But my point is, why do churches not teach us about money? Why most of pastors, the only teaching about money is how to pay your tithe and offerings?
All right.
So, I mean,
Let's-
don't get me wrong about it.
Let's talk about it. So
Yeah.
one thing that I can say, churches in America in general, it's only a small percent that have a pastor that is wealthy and understands money in a way that it should. A pastor may have the spiritual revelation of certain things that has, as God is revealing to him, as the Holy Ghost is revealing to him and such. But having the fundamental foundation and understanding of money, how it works and how it works in the church, and how the community and church members can benefit from the money and how they use it, it's only a small percentage that really knows how to be able to relate that and teach to the people. So it's not every pastor or minister or shepherd that knows and has that understanding, even though they may have a really good, strong spiritual revelation and a message that they can relate to the people with.
So, to get back to my point, this is my point now. I'm going back to Africa now, okay? I'm not talking about United States. I'm going back to Africa, where most of preaching is like money is evil in churches. They tell people like money is evil. Money is evil.
The love.
I don't believe that.
So
I don't believe that.
they don't say they don't say
It's
the
not
love
good.
of money. They say money is evil. Whenever a brother start talking about money, how to make money, how to become rich, they say money is evil. But from what we know here is the Bible say the love of money is
Right.
the root
Yeah.
of all.
Of all evil.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Evil.
Money in itself?
The money itself.
No, really.
It's
Money's
not
good.
evil.
Money's good.
No,
Yeah, money's good.
Money's good.
Totally.
So,
But the love of it is
it's the love of it.
No, that's the thing.
Excess
When you
love of it.
focus your life, all becomes about getting the money. Do whatever, regardless of the consequences to get money. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's the love of money. But when you know the money is a tool you
Right.
can use to facilitate not just your life, your family life, and your community. You're thinking about it. But well, we remember the prophet says money, woman, and those are the things that can messed up your whole life. But money in itself, I don't think it's a bad thing to have money.
Sure.
I really don't.
So Taylor, this one I just feel like you can. It's particularly for you to help me with this, and people that are listening to us too.
Sure.
Because most of people that can listen to us right now, they are Christian, they're believer, or they believe in God, right? So, from my understanding, I know that there's more than 500 scriptures in the Bible that talk about money and prosperity. However, there is people, I mean, it's actually in Proverbs that Solomon said that the heart of a man is where his treasure is. Which means the heart of each one of us is where our money is. That is just.
It depends on what you're treasuring.
You have what
Yeah.
you treasure.
Yeah.
Some
It depends
people
on what you
value
treasure.
the family more
Right.
than money.
Sure.
I do value, of course, my family more than money, more than education. You know,
that's great.
Well, so what do you need the money for? You're working hard. Why?
So, how would you now go with your family? How would you support your family if you don't have money?
Exactly. When work, you go to work because you have family to take care of. You know, you have a future to prepare for the children that are coming. You have to protect your children from what is happening in the world. As we said, the public school, it is a garbage. It is garbage. But if I want my child to learn in a private school, I need to pay for it.
Sure.
They need the transportation together. They need food. If I need them to stay home to be homeschooled, I don't need my wife to work, for example, because she needs to take care of the kids, watch over the kids, want to study. Because if you leave a child, okay, study, homeschool, they would probably take their time play instead of really reading the books. You need somebody behind them to teach them and say, hey, you have to read from this time to this, and somebody has to be there. So that person, probably have to pay them. You know, so you have to work. That's the reason why we work, to secure the future of our children, our grandchildren. We don't work just because you want to work money. Whenever you have all in the world, and then what?
Yeah, you just raised up a point that's very important, and something comes to mind. And I have a question to follow up with that. The fact that, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen a lot of shift from just a normal education where people are going to school, or even from home, people are getting educated on a one-on-one basis where you're physically there learning. But we've transitioned to a world that's more digital, and education has now become maybe on your phone or laptop or a tablet or whatever. So now the question to you is, should education be automated in a way where it's only maybe a video that a professor has recorded and it's only there on the platform and you're just there watching, maybe taking notes, but it's a automated process where you can't really ask questions to the computer that's in front of you.
So you see, there are many people have different ways they learn faster. Some people are visual learner. They just look and then they learn from just looking. Some people are good listeners. In my case in particular, I like asking questions when I'm learning something, because I don't want to assume something in my mind. Like, well, if he didn't say it, because probably it's following this rule or whatever. I asked the instructor. For example, I've went to university when the teacher would tell you, okay, go this. I'll send you a video. You guys have to watch it at home and stuff like that. You learn from home instead of learning from the professor. Or if you have any question, come and ask me. And then you have to replay the video to ask him, hey, from here to here, I didn't understand. But if he had already spoke about it at school earlier, it will make everything easier. I can ask you the question directly, instead of stopping the video till I see you again, because the rest I might not be able to continue. If it is a complicated math problem, I don't understand the parts. It doesn't mean that I have to stop right there till I'll meet you 2 days later to tell you, oh, I didn't finish it because from here I was stuck. I couldn't understand. I couldn't go further. You understand me? If it is like right away, hey, sir, before we move on, do you mind explaining this a little bit better? But in university, when you have 200-300 people, you cannot really do that, because if you are the only one who did not understand and everybody is understood, the instructor is just moving on. You're just moving on.
Sure.
So, that's why it's a good idea to have tutors. You don't understand something better, you go as well. You meet somebody who knows the letter a little bit better. But I love learning with the person right there, the instructor right there. Online classes, I can't do it.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to add something on that, right? But before going to answer, I will state on something. Today, the world we're living, we see everywhere online. People are selling online courses.
Yep.
So my question that I asked myself, why does everyone switching their businesses to online courses? Everybody that you find, a businessman, woman, entrepreneur, everybody try to create an online course to sell people, to people, I mean. So I try to dig in and try to see why. The reason why is so many people are so tired of our education system. Why? Because they see that our education system don't bring them anything at all. So when you know something, so whatever you do, mechanical, like engineer and all stuff, entrepreneurship, real estate, then you create a course, you put there online. I know like Taylor is really successful as a real estate like businessman. So I would rather go buy a course from Taylor that has already done something, is successful with that thing. Because I know that if I give myself to that, I'll also become probably successful, not maybe like Taylor, but I will get a certain point instead of going to school, learning a business for even somebody that even don't have any business at all, but is just reading a book from me. Just it's something or a curriculum that has been given to him, or because he studied also did something, but he doesn't even know how to run any business at all.
I know.
See, so my point is, okay, I'm not saying like going to university is a problem. Okay, studying is really good, but what I would say is, I would prefer learning from somebody who has already done it.
I say going to university is a problem if you're going for excuse me for saying this, but a nonsense degree.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now we're talking.
Now we got a
you're going to
conversation.
school for what? Communication. You're wasting your money. You're going to gender study. You're wasting your money. Sociology. You're wasting your time. For example, if you're going to be a doctor, go ahead.
Sure.
You're going to be a lawyer. Of
Go
course.
ahead.
You're going. You're doing something that is very important just for society to exist.
Yeah, you want to
begin
be an
with.
engineer?
Yes, you
Go
need to go to
ahead.
the university. You need to learn
for that.
Yes.
But bro, you will go to university to do business. In business, like at university, bro. I'm so sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Universities mostly these days just to get that paper to say that I went.
Yeah.
It is a way to say. Well, many people today they take a job and then after 2 weeks they leave.
Sure.
People are easy to give up on things. Going to the university is just a way of showing that hey, I went through it. And then I came out on the other side. I didn't give up.
It's just
Yeah.
some credibility.
It's just that's what I think. Like I didn't give up. Look, I studied. I learned something. Even as the NP mechanic, when they're teaching you, they're telling you already. You will not learn everything here. This is just to give you a license to start learning. So wait a minute, but we're spending time here. Yes, it is they're giving you a license to go out there. You will not just start fixing planes or start. No. You'll be under somebody.
Okay.
You'll be a probation mechanic. You are underneath somebody's teaching you, or you need to do this. This pen is different from that one. The configuration is totally different. You have the procedure is totally different. Different manufacturer, different fabrication. So that's you're learning. You're going to school to get a paper to start actually learning. What you learn probably at school. In the real world, totally different.
Sure.
Totally
Sure.
different. Even when learning how to drive, they tell you, okay, when this happened, you have to stop. But most of the time, that's not what happened. Nobody respect the law of the street.
Sure.
You have to adapt. You have to learn.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the question. The question is so really interactive, right? I love the question, and my answer to that, I would say that go to university if you wanna become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. But bro, please don't go to university to do business administrative. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. So I know you can get me into that, because you go to university, you do business administrative, and you become a what?
It's different. Let me give a different example.
You want to do tax refund?
Let me give a different example. Maybe you're already in the industry.
Yeah.
And you're already working. You have some experience.
Sure.
But just in order for you to become a director or vice president, it may require you to add a master's degree or something whatnot, which may be an MBA or maybe a business degree of some sort. That's that's valuable and it makes sense, rather than going in blind and not really having an end goal of what you're trying to achieve.
Talking about goals, most people go to university without even knowing why they are going to university.
They don't know what they want to be.
Sent them there.
You're in college. Oh, I need to meet somebody to tell me what I should do in life. Or just wait a minute. What did you just say? You already going there? Oh yes, I need an advisor to guide me to what I should do in life. I say, hey, whatever you're thinking, if it doesn't bring the bread at home, don't do it.
There is actually a study of England doctor that said like so many people actually even in life, not even education or schooling, do things just because of conformity. They want to confirm with somebody else. They don't even know why. Like today, they say they did a study asking different people, like, why do you go to work? Why do you work? Say like, I don't even know. I just work because people work. See, somebody wake up in the morning, go to work because I know Taylor work. Somebody go to university, I want to become an engineer, software engineer. I want to become a IT or a computer engineer or something like that. You ask him like, why do you want to do it? Because I'm going to make a lot of money.
That's a good reason.
That's okay. But somebody will say, I'm doing it because Taylor is making good money. I want to make good money too.
It's not a bad reason.
Bro,
listen to me, my brother. Hold up.
Mordecai.
You mean it?
What if it's not yours?
Listen to me. You see, in life, for example, a person wants to be a pianist, all right? But, for example, back in Congo, let's talk about that. Many pianists, where I know many talented people who can play the piano, you confuse them with Mozart. But it doesn't give you money.
Mozart?
No, well, it's just a way to explain. Yes, some people can beat the drum, they can play, but they are not
like,
making
the one behind the camera today.
He can play. The guy is talented, can play. But making that much money from that.
Sure.
Why don't you do something that will give you the money to do whatever you love?
Okay, I'm gonna answer to that. The strength, the courage, or the brain. I'm not saying like I would say that we have different brains. So the intelligence that Taylor have might not be what you do or what you have.
Yeah.
Or the strategies or pain, suffering that Taylor went through studying those courses, you might not be able to go through those classes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example in our conversation. We had a friend, all of us, a common friend, where suggest to had too many courses to university, and then suggest to Taylor to also have too many courses in university. But for him is another level. For Taylor, it might have a different level from that friend of ours, right? So, and it ends up that those courses with what he was doing, it was too much.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't have a life no more.
So, you don't have a life with your family, you don't have life with friends, you don't have life to socialize, right? So what I'm saying is, don't just do something because somebody else is doing it.
Not necessarily that. It is, I want to do a job. For example, it's different. There is a difference between a hobby, a passion. You're passionate about this. These are your hobbies.
Sure.
I don't have to take my hobby, put it like number one priority. No, it's just a hobby. For example, playing golf. For example, playing soccer. I know myself that I cannot run for 3 minutes, which means my hobby of playing soccer cannot be my main focus as a stream of income.
Sure.
Because I'm not good at that. It's just a hobby. I love doing that. So which means I have to get a job that will allow me to do my hobby. That I don't have to worry about, that Friday, no, I'm going to do my hobby. I don't have to worry because I already made enough money to allow me to learn how to play the violin, because I want to learn how to play the piano. It is just a hobby or a passion. Or I love, for example, I want to have, let's say, an orphanage. That's really a passion of mine. I've known people who lost their family members, they live on the street. I had to share a piece of my lunch with them. I know how hard life is for them, to some people. So I decided in my mind, I know that one day, if I get money, I will have to build something like that to help those kids in need. Now I don't have money. I can give $100 every month here and there and stuff like that. But it is a passion of mine. So in order for me to accomplish that passion, money will not just fall from the sky. You see me? You see what I'm saying? You have to work in something even though you don't like it, but you have to work, you have to do it. Lucky for me, I love what I do. So, but for some other people, they will have to go through anything in order, well, not anything, but something in order to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish really in life.
The thing is, it's still important. The thing that our youth needs to understand, that it's still important to have dreams. When you, especially as a youth, it's important for you to set something in the future and you aspire to that. And that thing that you set forth can be a mentor, somebody that's already in a position of success, and they can help you and motivate you. Maybe not one-on-one. You may not have a connection with them, but you can relate to them, and you can aspire to be like them. So it's important to just dream and not limit yourself
Easy.
to just what you see on a normal basis.
Wait, I mean, but bro, I would say today I'm kind of like I will be so controversial with both of you today. So because I feel like this topic is bringing me a lot of things in my mind. You say something about like, yes, having dreams, that's better. But I know somebody so smart and wise who said something like, dreams without goal are just dreams. And dreams without goal are nightmare. So when somebody have dreams, it's great. All of us have dreams. But you know how many people that die with their dreams without fulfilling them?
Yeah.
How many people that regret like having not to fulfill what they dreamed of because they wanted to be like somebody else?
The thing is, you can have a dream, but you need goals to bridge the gap.
We talk now the same language
dream?
now.
You had a dream,
Yeah.
now wake up, start working.
Start working.
Start working
Exactly.
on that dream.
Yeah.
Start working.
You're going to just sleep there. It's going to remain a dream.
And part of those
Because
goals, part of those goals can be education, but it's not limiting to education.
Yeah.
It can be internship.
Yeah.
It can be maybe you doing you study, or you just looking into it's versed. You're not limited to just education, but you need certain goals. Maybe you go get a mentorship.
Yeah.
It just depends. Or go practice what you want. If you want to be a pianist or a guitarist, it just depends.
I
You need to
was
practice
listening
it.
to what's his name? We've now it's Warren Buffett, or one of those billionaire dude, was giving a speech. He said, when you speak to somebody, you ask them. He will ask you. I know if it's not Elon Musk, it's Warren Buffett. He said, I will ask them a question. What are your goals? If the person will say, okay, I have a goal to do this, to do that, which is great. It says, from today to the next month, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish by next month? What do you think you can accomplish by next week? What can you accomplish in 2, 3, 6 months before you get to, in a year, I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
But before a year, what you don't have any other goal between? What can you accomplish?
The goal is just the steps
Yes,
that you're going to be able
definitely.
to.
to get to that point, that objective you want to get to. So,
I mean, that's the same thing with the same ideas, because since we're talking about education, right, it's a certain way to also show our audience, like, you don't just need to have dreams, you need to have goals. And when you have goals are like a roadmap. Somebody says we can have two ships right now. One, you give it a clear goal, like it's moving from point A to point B with a captain on it, a crew, everything. Then you have a second ship where you don't put anybody inside. You just turn on the engine and stuff. That ship won't get anywhere, but both of them are in the water. One will get to point B, and one will maybe drown or get lost in the middle because you didn't put anything on it. Now, the thing about goal is, most of us here, or people that are listening to us right now, at the end of the year, people take journals, papers. This is what I want to do next year. This is what I want to do in 10 years. But most of the time, after 3 months, when you get to next year, all those goals and dreams fall apart. Why does that happen?
Well, you see, you don't start with the big one right away. You start with a small one. You have a step by step. What do you want to accomplish in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and consistency. You are consistent in whatever you do, whatever you really desire, you really want it. You really want it. I've seen people, even myself, sometimes, for example, going to the gym, I will decide this month or this year, working out with a certain goal, you're gonna realize, oh my goodness, Planet Fitness is taking money, this much money from accounts. I haven't even been there in a month. You understand?
Sure.
So it is something that, sometimes you relax, you forget about it, but it is very important. So you have to focus on. You have to really want it. You have to focus, put your mind in it. It has to be that important to you. Well, some other things we don't take it as matter of life and death. If it is like that serious, you're doing. If I don't do this, I'm not doing anything. You have to accomplish something in a week. Next week I have to do this. Next week I have to do this. And like, for example, even praying in the morning or reading the Bible.
Sure.
It was something like really hard. Just to go through pages of book. I decided before I open my phone to respond a message or a call, I have to read a verse or a chapter in the Bible. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I will do. I have books. Lately I'm reading Chaos by, what's his name again? Tim? The guy who wrote the name is Tim. He's talking about the 60s.
Okay.
So yeah, you need at least 3 pages. 3 pages a day. 3 pages a day.
Sure.
You understand? It is not like I have to do it. No matter, I need to do it. It's just to train my mind. If I decide to do something, even the little things, I need to do it. It's not
great.
a big deal. It's not a big book. It's not even expensive. It's really like $12 that I bought in Amazon. It's just because I want to read it.
Sure.
Because I want to read something out of my school stuff. Because if I just have to read school stuff, I think like I'm not spending somewhere else. I want to expend somewhere else. So
Sure.
Yeah, you have to need it.
Definitely.
I want it
Definitely.
that bad.
What do you think about a person who's willing to go? They have 2 choices, right? Either investing their time self-learning about a skill or having different skills, or going to our education system, go study, and then right after that get a job, start being paid, and after maybe start a business. What would you tell that person? What would be a choice for them? What do you think about it?
You want to go first? You want me to?
I can take that. The one thing you mentioned is self-learning. When you say self-learning, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, self-learning is I'm going online. Okay, I'm finding a boot camp, for instance.
So certification?
Yeah, certification and things like that. Because boot camp, I have an experience with that. They have tutor, right? They follow up. They call you. You have maybe Discord group, and then you have to talk and all of this stuff, or going to university, because there are people that go to university, they get a lot of student loans, and they go out, they get even a job that don't even that pay them even less.
So let me speak to that then, because there's a lot of people that a lot of us in the society are not everybody is supposed to go to school. Is not meant to go to school.
True.
For those of us, a lot of people skip the fact that maybe you can just be an electrician. You don't need to go to school.
Exactly.
You can be a plumber. You don't need to be a lot of people miss those types of fields. So there's a lot of opportunities out there if you don't go to without just going to school. So like what you mentioned, certification, there's also opportunities for that as well. So some people are meant to go to school. Some people are meant to be astronauts, and they need to pursue a specific career that requires them to get a degree, and then this, and so on and so forth. So it really just depends what your aspirations are and what resources you have available to you as well. So it varies. Yeah,
the best investment that anybody can do is on themselves.
True.
You have to invest in yourself, learning and developing yourself, not just physically, mentally, as well spiritually, and that's the best investment you can do on yourself. As Taylor was speaking, you find a lawyer after going for 8 years at school, a bunch of student loan. And definitely after 25 years, I've seen people still paying
it off.
the student loan. They are not able to. But you find a person who went to school to become a plumber for 4 months, 3 months. They're making more money than they do. They are $120,000. I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that. They don't own anybody anything. They're just living the best life. It doesn't mean. And some job, for example, let's say if there's no journalists in the world for a week, do you think the world will continue living just fine?
I think so.
I think so, yes. But if the farmers says, okay, let's take a break for 2 weeks, I'm telling you, some people will start eating each other because there's no food, there's no...
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Electricians just says, okay, we're going to stop working just for a week. The world will crumble. Nobody will take care of those infrastructure, like
No
electricity
plane,
and
no
powers and all of that.
airplane.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
sure.
understand, which means some fields are very important
Critical.
for the functioning of society. You know, plumbers, electricians, and all of that. And those people make good money.
Okay.
Good money. People building the roads, people keeping all those places clean. They are very important to society than entertainment. They are better than movie stars. If you don't watch a movie for a whole year, you'll be just fine.
Sure.
But if you don't eat for 2 days, you won't be able even to watch a movie because you'll be falling. You understand that people cleaning the water supply that we drink, those people are very important and necessary for society. Most of them will not have to go to school and get a degree.
Sure.
They don't need that. You know, but they take a course and they are able to do what is necessary for society. So, exactly. No, that's the best investment. That's what I think. It's the best investment on themselves to learn, and then they are capable of serving society. Going to school, you want to be an engineer, you want to go to the moon. I don't think you need to take a 3-month course before you go to the
No,
moon.
you can't.
Not at all.
You know, you need to do a surgery on my heart. You gotta stay in school a little bit longer.
Yeah,
You know,
sure. Yeah,
so
definitely.
it really depends, as Taylor said.
Yeah, sure. That's amazing. I love that. So this conversation is really going great so far. And if you guys really like this conversation, please hit a really subscribe button and subscribe to our channel, and then hit the notification bell so that you can be the first person to be notified whenever we post our first video. We really love your support. Like I said at the beginning, I really love this conversation, the way it's going so far. And actually, to get to the almost last point of this conversation, so education. We said education starts from the family to the heart, to the church community and schools. But the way we see things, almost all homes and houses have failed to educate people. Churches, most of them, not that much. Because churches now, people are now going for entertainment because our pastor is the best pastor in the city. Because our pastor is the most famous pastor in the city, because our pastor is the youngest and the coolest pastor in the city. People are not going to the church to study no more. And when we look at education, it's not like we just say going to school. It's spiritual, like you said, mental, physical, and financial, right? So, what do you think is the best way for somebody to be educated?
Well, as it was in the beginning, God created even in Adam and Eve. You know, placed them together. They saw the base of the family. You have kids, dad and mom. Teach the kids from the house. You'll teach them the good ways of life. You teach them the Bible. Some people are Muslim. You teach them your Quran, because I don't believe that there's any religion that will teach you out there to go do crazy stuff or bad things. You know, whatever you do, you teach them moral. You know, there are some stuff. If it doesn't matter what religion you practice. If I say do not steal, I believe that even people from the Buddha, they believe that you shouldn't
Definitely,
be stealing.
they do.
If I tell you that do not murder, I believe that everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Do not insult anybody out there. Respect the adults. Everybody will agree with that. You should respect the adults, the elders on the street. Be nice. Everybody will agree with that. You don't need to be you don't need to be a Christian, Muslim, or whatever to agree that you shouldn't be doing bad things to others. You understand me? So, a children has to learn that from the house. All right, they learn that from the house. So when they are out there, they already have a foundation. They know, you know, I should be respectful to this person. I shouldn't insult the other kid. I shouldn't beat up on that kid because they are weak. You teach them kindness. Help others. Don't be selfish. You learn it from the young age. You learn how to share. You learn how to do. If the parents, mom and dad, take their responsibility, teach the kids. It doesn't matter if the public school is bad, is corrupted. Those kids knows the foundation. They know better. They can't even stand up to something and say bullying and another person is wrong. They can stand up and say this and that is wrong. This is the better way to do it. Because you cannot blame a kid who tells another person you shouldn't slap the other person. You cannot blame that kid. Why?
Sure.
Because that's not a wrong thing to say or a bad thing to do. You understand? So the foundation is the home. The parents, they have to do the job. Parents have led the job to the instructors, to the teachers at school. Mother, they don't even know what the kids do at school. But dad is so busy working, making money. Mom is at work and all that. They don't even have time to sit down and talk to their kids. That's the family is broken. Education is broken. The future is broken. It's broken, totally broken. But in the moments, parents, mothers, dads take responsibility. Hey, you're a boy. You are supposed to do this. You're a girl. You are supposed to do this. You're supposed to do. You are not supposed to do. You are a boy. You shouldn't be slapping a woman. You shouldn't beat up on the woman. You should respect the woman. You learn it from the young age. Hey, a woman is passing by. You have to hold the door for the ladies. You learn that from your dad, from your parents. But there's no parents at home. There's no dad at home. Some of them are in jail. Some of them are at work. Too busy. You see your dad once in a week. Pastors in church, they cannot talk about some other subject because it is
Taboo.
touching. Or it feels uncomfortable to talk about some other stuff. You see somebody, for example, who is living a bad life, but since they give good money in the church, you don't have to talk about the bad life that person is living or the sin, because they will leave. If they leave, you don't have the money anymore. But you are in church, you are supposed to condemn everything that is wrong.
Sure.
So in the moments, the parent is not home, the pastor is compromising, the teacher believe whatever, they can just tell your kids whatever, and then your parents, since you are not checking on whatever the kids are learning, society is just doomed. It's doomed. Education should be a matter of everybody.
The point that you just made is perfectly good, because the foundation does start from the home. But one thing that what I'd like to say is that a lot of the responsibility is on the individual themselves, and I'm going to speak to in general, not only for kids, but this applies to all of us. A lot of this current generation, I guess you can say, is prone to having how can I say this? A short attention span, to education and to just pursuing certain things. So this limits us in a certain way where you cannot even pick up a book to read extensively. Cannot pick up a Bible to read, just to further your education or your spiritual life or your goals or anything of the sort, because you want money now. If you need an education, you want it now. You have to understand that things take time. Certain things take time. So I think we can understand that, it's going to help us shift our mindset into just being able to pursue things in a more efficient way, rather than just getting things or trying to get things right now, right then and then. So that's what I can say to that.
That's great. I mean, I would really prefer we will go so really further with this conversation, but unless Taylor you have a question, but I feel like we need to get into part 2 of this conversation, since we have Mordecai already together. We can still have different episodes together and have more conversation with this. By that, I just want to ask a question to Mordecai, especially as you are today's guest. Mordecai, if you've never had the goal or the inspiration or the dreams that you have today, or to do what you're doing today, and you've been given another life, what would you do?
Well, as I usually say, I don't regret many things in life, or will change totally many things in life. My goals will probably remain the same if the same thing that happened to me in this life happened to me again, probably I'll be thinking the same way. But I know now to do some other stuff, or to prioritize some other things. Family, for example, has always to come first. God first, family and country. That's the way everything should be. You focus in your faith and all that, because I know that every time I'm more focused into God, everything else will come, just because it is supposed to be like that. I'm working on what I'm supposed to do. Family, focus on my family, because that's the reason why, many of us live for, I live to leave a legacy, family and all of that, and then my country and my fellowship, my people around me. So
today, 10 days from now, God forbid, Mordecai is on his deathbed. What would you like to be remembered for?
Kindness. My kindness.
Wow.
I try my best to be kind and gentle to everybody. Yeah. I have a helping spirit. I love helping everybody, anybody. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know you or anything. And if you need help, if I can help, I will help you. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've seen that firsthand. That's definitely him.
That's really good. And what the worst advice have you ever received or given?
I have had the chance to meet a lot of good people. Lately I was flying to what's the state again? Well, I forgot. I've been traveling a lot lately, but I was going somewhere, and then I met a lot of good people. They would tell me, hey, you know what? You should invest in this in real estate. You should buy apartment buildings. This and the guys. Those are good advices, because if you don't hang out around with good people, you don't know what is good or what is possible.
Sure.
So I try to hang out with a lot of people who are a little bit knowledgeable. Or I don't want to be the smart person in the room all the time. I want to be able to be around smarter people.
I love that.
In order to learn more.
Sure.
But I know my uncle tells me, hey, you gotta be careful. Whenever you're ready to accomplish your goal, that's in the moments the devil comes, to torment a lot of things.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah, bad advice has come, but I don't pay attention to it anymore. You focus on the positive. Yeah, just to be careful and thankful for everything that happens, regardless. Yeah.
And the last question: what is the thing that you always want to be known for, but nobody knows about it?
I'm into everything. I love learning anything. Anything that I want to know more about it. I'm very, how do you say, curious. I'm very curious guy. I learn about everything and anything. I learn how to cook. I have books about cooking. I'm a great cook, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. People say, yes, I'm a great cook. I know how to cook.
You have to try that.
We need to try that.
Yes, any cuisine,
we have to
special,
taste.
every cuisine. I'm interested in Indian cuisine, like I was telling you earlier. Interested in any cuisine. Finland, I was even watching some videos to learn how to cook, so I learned about every cuisine and anything that I can, I get interested in. I was, I can learn that.
Okay.
That can be easy. So yeah.
All right, Mordecai, what do you think about? I know we're wrapping up here, but I just want to get your take on standardized testing in terms of education. Do you think it's a good method to measure one's potential?
No. You see, it is necessary. It is important, but I don't think so. It is. There's an adage people say, if you want to see how good, if you want to see how good a fish can climb a tree, he will spend his entire life thinking that he's stupid. But put him in the water, you see how good they are. I know some people are book smart. There are some other people that can give them anything. They can build you anything they can. They don't need to do math or whatever. But when it gets to doing the actual job, they know it.
Yeah.
I don't think, doing that, it is the best way to tell if a person is smart or not. It really depends. But it is necessary to think, it should look, hey, you went to school for this long. Show us what you can do. What do you remember? But it shouldn't be like, this is the only focus. That's what I think. And even since we're talking about school, I think not everybody, as you should go to school. Not everybody should be good at math. I don't think so. I'm not good at math.
Okay.
I have a brother who's 3-4 times better at math than I am. You know, I will be just like, hey, bro, I don't understand this at all.
Which one? Which one?
Benjamin is pretty good at math.
Ben?
David is a little bit better as well. I'll just say, hey, bro, what do you think about this? He will start explaining. He has not even take the class yet, but he knows how to solve those problems. You see? But when it comes to writing, I can write all day, non-stop. Ideas just flow through my mind. I'm telling you, I can write for the whole day.
Okay.
Since I was a kid, I used to write history books, like movies, in a book, an entire book. Like I had like 6-7 of them. You see, I can just start writing a fiction story or something like that. I can write it.
You should write manga.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the best way to assess somebody's intelligence then? Since apart from just standard
in something that they want to do. For example, if they want to be a mechanic, test them about being a mechanic. Stop disturbing them with geography and history. Hey, when I'm fixing a car, I don't need to know. With all due respect, I don't need to know Abraham Lincoln. I know Abraham Lincoln, but I don't have to focus on him when I'm fixing a car. I don't need to know about Barack Obama when I'm doing this. You understand? So when I'm, for example, being a doctor, teach me about fixing people. You know, cleaning up people, surgery and stuff like that. You know, people have to be focused. School has to be talent driven. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah.
You know, yes, a person is going to school to be a musician. Teach them about being a musician. Test them about being a musician, you know, but some tests are just like the basic. Everybody needs to know at least this before you do that. You need to know, you know.
Sure. That's great. I mean, I love that. So for now, unless Sailor has another question.
There's always questions.
I know, but we really need to stop. We need to stop, and we will thank you for being until right now. And if you made it to this point, it means like you really love this video, you appreciate this episode. And so far, tell us what you think about it. If you have a topic and something that you want us to talk about, just drop it in a comment below so that we can think about it and bring up somebody who's really an expert and knows what they're talking about, and we can share the topic. Feel free, DM us either in social media or YouTube, anything. We would be really, we would appreciate that. And for now, we say thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting. Peace.
Thank you very much.
All right.